extraordinary season is now at the front of this pack at a critical and crucial stage.
You can almost feel it. I feel like it's a summer day on Daytona Beach and you're watching storm clouds roll in. You're not sure when they're going to get here, and that's what this race looks like. It was at the top, now it's on the bottom. That's just cars positioning themselves so when they want to pit, they can get there cleanly. Lap after lap, everybody gets a little more antsy.
Joining Joey Logano again with thanks to Hunt Brothers Pizza. Ryan Blaney will be somewhere close by like they have been for so many times. And just think at this stage, who are the key combos we have seen so far tonight? Getting down to the interesting phase, Jimmy.
Yeah, we really are. The conversation around the 4-car trying to save fuel had me text our guys back at Legacy Motor Club in the war room to understand what the 42 is doing for fuel. And it really appears that those first 3 rows of cars have a really difficult time of saving fuel. The sweet spot seems to be that 4th or 5th row, which will allow you to save the most fuel out there.
That's great information, Jimmy, and that's what I think everybody's trying to figure out. And, if you're in that 4th row, Jimmy, you just wonder if I could say, all right, pull up, use that fuel, run 1 or 2 laps up front, and then pit, right? I think there's going to be this rush to the front before they come to pit road if possible.
And the pack is catching Martin Truex Jr., who had the second incident with a deflating tire. That happened earlier when Eric Jones had his moment and Shane Van Gisbergen blew up, and Truex is staying well and truly out of the way.
Jeff, how much notice do you need? It was different for each of my drivers. You want to hear 5 away, or can I just tell you one time on the front stretch as a driver, what did you prefer for heads up before pitting?
10 laps. Just tell me 10, just so I know what's on your mind. I don't necessarily need to be looking to be to the bottom in 10 laps, but I wanted that, so then I knew, okay, now tell me 5, right? But I wanted to start looking, because if a lane was good on the bottom, that was good speed, and I could go ahead and get there, I'd get there. But if not, I knew I had quite a bit of time to position myself. Marty.
Jeff, terrific point, and Joey Logano just asked that question of Paul Wolf a moment ago. He said, how long until we stop? He said 5 to 7 laps, but they also reminded him, Steve, worry about your track position a little bit. Logano has had arguably the best car tonight. He's back in 17th now. Does he have to gain some of that back before they stop?
17th and stuck on the top 3 wide. So even if he wanted to come, it would take a lap to figure it out. Let's add into all of this, you cannot slide a front tire coming to pit road. You're not getting new shoes on this thing, Jeff. You got to take care of all 4 Goodyears coming into the pit box.
Parker, how about Josh Berry? What a night.
He was just told last lap after driving a great race, 4 to go before they hit pit road for the 4 car. So now 3 laps to go before we see them on pit road.
He's trying to give crew chief Rodney Childers his first big win here at Daytona.
The other thing that's happening right now is that all the spotters are, when they get ready to start pitting, they're making motions. They're letting all the spotters around them know, hey, we're going to pit. Because how are you going to peel out of this pack and not get into a wreck? So communication from the crew chief to the driver, but also to the spotter, and then the spotters amongst all themselves, and then the drivers. Hands out the window, hands waving so the guys can see behind. Tons of communication.
Critical decisions are about to be executed. That's going to have an impact on the complexion of this race.
You'll see the drivers down the back straightaway. You'll see hands out the windows when they're going to pit the next time by. You just got to give as much notice as possible.
Yeah, it does you no good to get run over coming to pit road.
Whoa, here we go. Hunter Nemecheck goes for a wild ride, trying to get down to that low side, and had contact with Haley. And that was a fortunate escape.
Lee, a change at this racetrack. All of that is now pavement. That used to be grass.
It's over on the back section, heading towards what was known as the bus stop, the Le Mans chicane as it's called now. And look at that. That once upon a time, to Jeff's point, was grass. Thankfully now it's all asphalt, and Hunter Nemecheck does not roll. Just slides.
Watch the contact from the 5. Boom. That shoots him into the 51, and around he goes. And that noise is grinding pace out of that race car. It's bringing the speed down. When it gets in grass, it doesn't slow down like that. we've seen so many cars flip. You can see the contact from the 5, it moved the 42, and around he goes.
Big test for that new fin on the rear window. You saw the back of that car hop a few times. Without a doubt, stayed glued to the pavement, as you pointed out, Jeff. Very important.
And so now, all of those teams and drivers are expecting green flag stops. Some had given up track position, right? Thinking they were going to get green flag stops. Now they're all going to pit under caution.
That was a mighty shove from the 5 onto Nemecheck. That sent him to the left across the front of Justin Haley and down, and fortunately gets away with it.
So now, oh, there you go, Jeff. Top of the screen, right? This is the grass you spoke of?
Yeah, that's right. So cars used to go through that grass, then they'd go on this pavement over here where the road course actually is, and they'd get back in the grass. There was a big transition. Saw several cars flip as soon as they got to the grass. So great addition from a safety standpoint to this back straightaway.
It's also going to have a positive effect on the Rolex 24 as well, because the sports cars quite often come to grief. They're exiting that Le Mans chicane right there.
Oh, now they can. Now that argument can carry on even further.
So now, Jeff, you kind of pointed it out. We were building up to these waves of green flag pit stops. So now the challenge at hand is still real. Everyone has to come to pit road. So now there's a bunch of factors in the equation, Lee. First of all, how much fuel do you need? How much did you save? How much fuel do you need to just complete the next 19 laps?